There's a monkey in Florence who can revive the dead, Mickey says as he shakes Mort awake.
Florence, Italy?
No, Florence Henderson,
Mickey says condescendingly. Mort has known Mickey for 6 years now, long enough to absolutely despise this kind of joke. Hardy har, Mort says as he stretches his wings. It's a nice day on Pelican Bay. The recent summer kickoff festivities went off without a hitch and the pier was in full swing.
Mort, this monkey! He's brought pigeons and little rabbits back to life. In Florence!
What the hell do I care about some filthy stinking pigeons and horny little rabbits, Mick? Mort says, digging into his itchy groin. Fucking termites. Mickey slaps Mort with all of his force.
All he needs is one piece of DNA, Mort.
A stunned silence falls across both pelicans as Mort realizes what this means. In unison, they both turn to face an oak chest Mort has placed on his branch. You really think this monkey can bring back Michelle?
I know he can,
Mickey says emphatically and without hesitation. Mort ruffles a few of his chest feathers and retrieves a key attached to a necklace. He removes it and uses it to open the chest. Inside, surrounded by down feather comforters, is a fermented pelican egg that Michelle laid as she was dying. The pelican doctor called it something something calcium baby. Mort called it a sick fucking joke that his infertile wife would lay a deceased egg while she herself was dying, but what the hell does he know? But now, maybe this was the purpose of the deceased egg all this time. Chock full of delicious Michelle DNA, this fermented egg contains potentially everything it would require to reunite him with his beloved wife. That is, if the monkey in Florence, Italy could actually revive the dead. We gotta go, Mort says.
You want me to go to Florence? In my condition, buddy, I can barely get off the boardwalk,
Mickey replies as he gestures at his bulging, disgusting gut. Fine. I'll go with Bob and Casey Lynn.
Bob? No, I don't know any Bob. Sorry, talking pelican,
the woman says as she shuts the door on Mort and Mickey. Mort grunts. Bob is dead and Casey Lynn is living with her mom in Saudi Arabia.
How on earth could you possibly know that?
Mickey asks incredulously. I feel it in my talons, Mort says as he pinches a telephone wire hard enough to sever it completely, temporarily disabling the 412 area code. Mickey watches as Mort grapples with this new loss.
What are you gonna do now, bud?
Mort considers a few seconds before shrugging. I'll probably go back to the coop and kill myself. This was never gonna work anyway, he says with a flap of his wings. Mickey quickly springs to flight and catches up with Mort.
Kill yourself? Morty, look, if it means that much to you, I'll try to go with you. Now, I might have a heart attack, but I could carry the egg in my wife's papoose. I'll look gay as hell, but hey, you're my best friend, Mort. You've been talking about Michelle for years. I'd love to meet her finally,
Mickey says with an uncharacteristic amount of feeling. Faggot, Mort says with a chuckle.
Danny is so much hotter than Joe, Donnie, or Jordan. Even if you put them all together naked and made them fuck, Danny would still be the hottest,
Liz says to her cohort of middle-aged friends.
Danny, Donnie, Joe, John, Jordan. Danny, Donnie, Joe, John, Jordan. Danny, Donnie, Joe, John, Jordan,
one of the girls chants.
Guys, you know it's Joe, Donnie, Jordan, Danny, John,
Melissa states emphatically. The New Kids on the Block tour has drugged the crazies out of the woodwork. Melissa, Chastity, Rebecca, Liz, and Harmony, affectionately dubbed the girls on the New Kids on the Block, have been following the adult boy band on the American leg of their tour. This final stop in wherever the fuck Mort the Pelican takes place is the final night before the New Kids go overseas to continue their tour abroad with Paula Abdul.
And the thing is, Paula hasn't even been good since season 2 of American Idol,
Harmony says.
At least we were all able to leave our lives for a little bit and reunite with each other, just like the boys,
Rebecca says as she leans forward and takes the hand of her friends.
Mark and the boys will never understand why I did this, and they certainly won't understand why I'm dumping out all of the juice boxes as soon as I get home,
Chastity says, casually referencing an inside joke in front of the group and sending them into hysterics. When they calm down, a waitress delivers their meals and drops off the bill as well.
Oh my god, can you believe she left the check? I mean, how rude is that?
Melissa says as she throws the check on the floor.
No, she didn't. Did you guys see Melissa throw that on the floor? How fucking crazy was that?
Chastity shrieks with excitement.
It was just like after the New Kids sang I Remember When, and Danny threw the set list on the floor, and Joe was all like,
Oh, no, he didn't.
All of the girls finished the quote.
It's so fucking funny that, like, literally no one would know what that is. That happened at our concert performance. Like, we've seen the show hundreds of times, and every night there is something that happens that only the people at that concert would even know about. Oh, we're so lucky to have been there that night,
Liz finishes.
And when the lighting designer accidentally turned off the spotlight in the middle of the dance break for Please Don't Go Girl, and Donnie dropped to his knees and prayed God to restore his light so that Genesis in the Bible.
The girls recite in unison. The girls all laugh, sigh, and drink their evening mimosas.
It's a shame it has to end just because the boys are going abroad.
Harmony sighs.
I know,
Chastity adds.
especially because it's just a plane ride away.
The girls all shift in their seats a little as the idea passes through each one separately.
I mean, Europe is easier to travel by car and train,
Melissa adds with a hopeful tone. According to American Airlines, they have a one-way ticket to Belfast for tomorrow evening
just in time for the 8 p.m. Belfast performance.
for only $3.22 plus tax, Rebecca announces. The girls all look at each other and, using kinesthetic response, all shriek at once.
It's a road trip. We're buying a ticket, a road trip. A trip in the air, call it a road trip. Trip in the air. Girls on the New Kids on the block. Buy a ticket, hey, trip in the air, call it a road trip. Trip in the air.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. 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 Light as a feather.
I just don't know how we're supposed to make it to Florence when you can't even make it back to our nest without stopping for a break, Mort says as he lights a cigarette. He and Mickey flew for about 5 minutes before Mickey was gasping for
Air, precious air. Well, as long as we, find places to land every now and again.
a winded Mickey starts. And while we're over the open ocean, Mort prods. Mickey collapses onto the ground while Mort relaxes on a branch and enjoys his cigarette. Across the street, he watches as a woman bursts out of the diner and makes a phone call.
Yeah, Jordan? Hey, baby, it's Becca. No, I didn't take any extra money out. Well, that's what I was calling about, actually. The tour is extended. What's that? No, they're still going to Belfast, and then to Cambridge and Nice and Paris, and, well, it'll be another 6 months of touring with the girls, but the girls on the New Kids on the Block need me.
Mort laughs as he watches Mickey genuinely fall asleep on the grass when he suddenly hears,
And then it's 3 nights in Florence, Italy. You should come, babe.
Mort drops his cigarette and immediately flies across the street to land on the diner's awning for a better vantage point.
Look, the girls and I chartered a boat from wherever Mort the Pelican takes place to as close to Belfast as a boat can get.
What's that? No, we were going to split it 5 ways, but Melissa ran out of money.
I know, isn't that wild?
The woman returns inside the diner and Mort leaves a little shit where he's sitting.
These people are en route to Florence. What are the fucking odds?
Mort dive bombs Mickey and slaps him repeatedly with his wings.
I know how we're getting to Italy. Get the fuck up and let's get the egg, quick!
Mort screams in his face.
There's 3 things you'll need to know before we leave the dock.
Gorton's fisherman says.
1. I am in charge of this vessel at all times. 2. Everyone must wear a life vest at all times. And number 3,
He pauses for dramatic effect and looks every seagoer in their eyes.
we're gonna have some fun.
And with that, he hands out life vests and heads for the bridge.
There's no fucking way I'm wearing that hideous thing,
Melissa says as she tosses her vest overboard. If this was a movie, the camera would pan down to follow the life vest and reveal that Mort and Mickey are posted up on a lower deck's railing.
Throwing shit overboard is so fucking trashy.
Mort says as he ashes his cigarette directly into the ocean. Mickey gives him a look.
What? Ashes are biodegradable.
It's the filter that isn't. Mickey gives him that look again.
I hold on to the filters until I find the trash can.
Mickey keeps up with the look. Okay, I swallow the filters until I find the trash can.
You think I believe that with your acid reflux?
Mickey says. Okay, I throw my filters on the ground, and I'm gonna throw this one in the ocean, Mort says as he does just that. As Captain Gorton's fisherman pulls his vessel into the Belfast shipping port, Mort and Mickey quickly make an appearance on the bridge to salute and say their farewells. The act is apparently too sentient, as Captain Gorton's fisherman has a heart attack and dies immediately. Rebecca, Liz, Chastity, Harmony, and Melissa all continue on their journey of stalking the new kids on the block, while their respective husbands cheat and raise their children with other women. But Mort and Mickey are on to bigger parts of the story. It is Mort the Pelican 2, after all.
How far you think we are from Florence?
Mickey asks. A simple Google search tells them that they are still a whopping 1,406 miles from Florence, but at least we're in Europe, Mort says, trying to look on the bright side. Mort reaches over and caresses Michelle's rotten egg and Mickey's wife's papoose. I really hope this works, Mick. God, what I wouldn't give to see Mish again.
We're gonna get this done, trust me. The author is ready to be done,
Mickey says, breaking the fourth wall. Mort considers this for a second and glances through the fourth wall and watches the author typing the sentences in real time. That's really weird, Mort says. Hey, stop putting words in my mouth, you piece of shit! Mort tries to swing at the author, but the author is not aware of his sentient presence. To the author, Mort is mere words on a page, or perhaps a PNG edited into a silly video. Upon realizing this, Mort waits patiently. Writer's block, eh? He asks the author. Why don't you go puff on that vaporizer you've been spraying us with, or smoke a cigarette out your laundry room window? Mort watches as the author considers, finishes the sentence, grabs his cell phone, and leaves the room. Now's our chance, Mort says. He starts talking through key bits of action. Mort and Mickey grab the egg and hold hands.
Gay.
While holding hands, the two realize that the power of platonic love, that is, the love shared between two best friends, he says as he looks to Mickey, that love can really get you going places.
Mort, what the fuck are you saying?
Mickey says over the suddenly magically howling wind. I'm saying that our totally platonic friendship and the love that stems from it can literally teleport us to Florence, Italy, Mort says as he and Mickey teleport to Florence, Italy.
Oh, quick, let's pretend we're in the middle of a scene so when the author comes back, he just keeps going.
Mickey says, finally understanding what's going on.
Sir!
Mickey screams.
Sir! I gave you 3/4 and I expect my newspaper.
Mickey screams at the newspaper merchant. Bada boopy! Bigga the papa, says the Italian newspaper merchant. I was told there would be a magical monkey in this piazza, Mort says in fluent Italian as the author returns from his smoke break. The monkey took the night off to see the kids on the new block perform with Paula Abdul. He is huge fan of Paula Abdul, the newspaper merchant says in a way that was suddenly coherent to Mort.
I didn't know you could speak Italian,
Mickey says quietly. Where is the concert? Mort asks politely. The newspaper merchant points over his shoulder at a large concert venue just past the piazza. What do you mean it's not working? I got this lifetime pass on the 2004 New Kids on the Block Carnival Cruise, Melissa screams at the usher scanning tickets. Due to the nature of teleportation, weeks have passed, and the girls on the New Kids on the Block have now followed the band to Florence, Italy.
Ma'am, venue policy requires a printed ticket. Now, I'm not sure what this lanyard is.
The meek elderly usher replies. Do you know who I am, bitch? I started the first official NKOTB fan club. Melissa launches into a tirade as Rebecca works her way to the front of the group. Hang on. Let's call Danny. Yeah, Danny Wood of the band performing tonight. And see what he says about this, Rebecca says as she pulls her phone out and holds it up to the usher.
Ma'am, venue policy requires a printed...
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
What? Rebecca frantically hangs up her phone and looks to Chastity. Call Danny, now. Chastity frantically sorts through her contact and selects Danny Wood.
Ma'am, so I'm gonna have to ask you to clear the line.
We're sorry. Your call cannot...
What? Chastity and Rebecca scream in unison. The rest of the girls immediately know what to do through Adrian Ayler's kinesthetic response, and they all dial Danny Wood to determine that they all have been blocked by one of their favorite singers.
Ladies, please step out of line,
the elderly usher says contentedly. The girls on the New Kids on the Block exchange a look, and then begin to speak.
Bought a ticket, lifetime ticket, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
As they use their laminated 2004 Lifetime New Kids on the Block passes to lift the usher off the ground, step through the doors, and place her back on the ground stunned and flashing like a video game character. Mort and Mickey use this opportunity to fly through the doors to the venue while the usher is none the wiser.
Jesus, I've never seen so many middle-aged women.
Mickey comments as his red rocket starts to poke out from under his feathers. Put that shit away, Mickey! Mort smacks him upside the head.
Where are we gonna find this fucking monkey in this chaos?
Mickey asks as he gestures at the thousands of middle-aged women surrounding the various merchandise and concession stands.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take this opportunity to alert you to the presence of greatness in your midst. We have the local monkey who revives deceased rabbits and pigeons with us tonight. He's sitting in seat 106A, and his handlers tell us he's going to be using the VIP restroom an awful lot tonight. Folks, if you see the local monkey who revives deceased rabbits and pigeons heading to the restroom, please do not stop him. His handlers tell us he has violent diarrhea this evening. Paula Abdul will take the stage in about 45 minutes.
An announcer conveniently states.
Seat 106A, let's go.
Mickey states triumphantly. I got a better idea, Mick, Mort says as he grabs him by the scruff of his neck and heads in the opposite direction. Paula Abdul is about 3/4 of the way through her set when the monkey needs to squirt for the first time. He uses American Sign Language to tell his handlers that he needs to make, and they take him by the hand and escort him to the VIP restroom near the 100 section. The monkey, affectionately called Simia, has become fiercely independent following his fame. Despite the handler's objections, Simia demands via American Sign Language that he be left to squirt on his own in the privacy of the VIP bathroom. His handlers relent, and Simia walks into the VIP bathroom where Mort and Mickey have been waiting. Hello, monkey that revives pigeons and rabbits, Mort signs in perfect American Sign Language.
I didn't know you knew American Sign Language,
Mickey says, dumbfounded. Simia looks at them puzzled for a few seconds before the call to squirt returns and he rushes to the nearby stall. As Simia squirts the first of many violent bursts of diarrhea out of his monkey asshole, Mort places his wings under the stall in view of the monkey and continues signing. We've traveled a long distance for your help. Can you revive my wife? Mort says and reveals the egg under the stall door. Simia snatches the egg out of Mort's wing and looks it all over while continuing to squirt. He places the egg gently on the floor, rolls it out underneath the stall back to Mort, wipes his monkey bottom, and comes out of the stall.
I should be able to help you,
He signs.
and if not, I can have tasty egg.
He says with a lick of his lips. I oughta slap the fur right off your fucking face, Mort says as he raises a fist to the monkey. Simia retreats and Mickey tries to calm Mort down.
This egg is very important to my friend.
Mickey says to Simia. Simia slowly crosses the bathroom and extends his palm for the egg. You can do? Mort asks.
I can do.
Simia responds. Mort kisses the egg and hands it to Simia, who continues to look it over.
You want baby or mom?
Simia asks. For some reason, Mort hadn't considered this question, and he doesn't really have to think about it. A kid he'd never met to begin with versus the love of his life. I want the mom, Mort responds as Mickey puts his wing around his shoulders. Simia nods knowingly, then gets to work. He pushes play on a cassette tape carried at his waist. A circus polka theme begins to play. Mort watches as the monkey begins to juggle his egg. He tries not to flinch, but it's hard. He's protected that egg for 7 years, and it's his only remaining piece of Michelle. The monkey puts the egg under a clamshell and conducts a game of 3-card Monty. He shuffles the clamshells around and then does some magic hand-waving over top of one of the clamshells. He signs
Abracadabra.
and reveals a pigeon where the egg used to be. What the fuck? A pigeon? Mort asks, stunned. Simia sees his reaction and continues the 3-card Monty bit. He covers up the pigeon with the clamshell and continues shuffling them around and around. Finally, he signs the
Abracadabra.
again and reveals a rabbit where the egg used to be. What the fuck is going on here, monkey? I thought you were bringing back my wife, Mort says with increasing anger. Simia looks puzzled, but continues with the trick. He covers up the rabbit with the clamshell and returns to shuffling them around. Handy dandy, which is the jester, which is the king. This time, Simia signs for Mort to pick a shell. Mort places his wing over the middle shell. Simia signs
Abracadabra.
and reveals a pigeon where the egg used to be. Mort, Mickey, and Simia all sit in silence as they wait to see what Mort will think of this new trick. Mort slowly gets to his feet before soaring across the table, pecking the hell out of the monkey. "Who do you think you are? I am!" Mort screams as he removes one of the monkey's eyes. "Why are you tormenting me? Where the fuck is my wife? Where the fuck is my wife? Where the fuck is my wife?" All of a sudden, the door to the VIP bathroom opens and Simia's security detail kicks the absolute ever-loving shit out of Mort, knocking him out instantly. Mort comes to inside a trash bin. "Where the fuck am I?" he says aloud. "Mick?"
We're in the dumpster like the trash we are. I'm so sorry, Mort. It was all a lie.
Mickey says in the darkness of the trash can. "What do you mean?" Mort asks.
It was a lie. All of it. The monkey doesn't revive shit. It's all sleight of hand. Those guys that came in and kicked the shit out of you, oh, they thought it was hilarious when they pieced together what happened. I never should have gotten you involved in this,"
Mickey says dejectedly. "You had no way of knowing, Mick, and you were trying to do the right thing. You didn't know—"
They crushed the egg, Mort.
Mickey says quietly.
The monkey told them what happened. They laughed. And then they crushed Michelle's egg.
Mickey continues. Mort feels all of the wind, all of the life, everything, sucked out of him in an instant.
I'm so sorry, Mort. I'll never forgive myself. I feel so fucking stupid for believing in a goddamn monkey,"
Mickey says as he bashes his head against the wall of the trash can. Mort crawls over to Mickey and puts his arm around his shoulder. "It's gonna be okay, bud," Mort says, though he's not sure he believes himself. Pelican Bay isn't a bad place to start over. Mort had come here at his brother's insistence after Michelle had died, and no, it wasn't love at first sight. But Mort is starting to realize that isn't Pelican Bay's fault. Mort was clouded for years after Michelle passed away. He was holding on to memories, he was holding on to pain, and in a literal sense, he was holding on to a rotten egg in a giant oak trunk. In some ways, the egg was a manifestation of his trauma, and hearing that it was crushed is an ungodly amount of relief for Mort. No, not at first, but just like his love of Pelican Bay, the relief grew over time. Mort returned to Pelican Bay with Mickey, and the two felt closer than ever. Having a best friend is sincerely important. Someone who understands you and wants to spend time with you. Someone who actively enjoys doing activities with you and wants to make time for those activities. Pelican Bay had tourism, attractions, restaurants, and most of all, it had his friends and family. As it turns out, Bob from Mort the Pelican 1 had only been short-term leasing his home through a service called Airbnb, and he'd be back often. Casey Lynn left Saudi Arabia shortly after the person posing to be her mom was slaughtered in the streets for being a Christian. She visited Mort and Mickey every day at the pier. Mort didn't have any physical representations of Michelle anymore, but maybe he didn't need them. Michelle was in the morning prawn fishing with Mickey, and in the neck pouch scratches from Casey Lynn. Michelle was in the weekly bonfires in Bob's backyard and in the smiling faces of the tourists at his Airbnb. Michelle was most notably not in that rotten egg, and Michelle was definitely not in an Italian monkey's bag of tricks. No, Mort was starting to realize that Michelle was everywhere. Michelle was in his heart. Michelle was love. Michelle was life. These were the foundational building blocks that led to the healing of Mort the Pelican and the formation of Pelicanism, a religion founded in her almighty pouch, the folds of grace, Michelle herself. A squawk to you and a squawk to us all. Blessed be the fruit. End.
You people don't do anything.